Hi, it's Craig. I wanted to just record. I was reloading my ink cartridges, and I felt maybe I should just record it for other people who might want to know how to do it. I have an HP PhotoSmart Premium printer. It's not a printer that resets the ink cartridges by itself. What I mean is reset, I mean when you put them back in, it still reads that the ink cartridges are low. However, I fill them up. I've been filling them up probably for a good 6 months to a year. You probably recognize that I do the recordings for White Dove Estore as well. But I want to put it on here because I do so many printing shipping labels. I have a little graphic on my shipping labels of a White Dove, and so you know I have to reload these ink cartridges a lot. I do a lot of printing, so what I wanted to do is just show you what I was doing, how I was doing it, because you know there's other people out there that want to know and they want to save money on ink cartridges. You could take them to Staples or a place like that, and they're going to reload them, and you're going to pay a fee of probably right around $10 per cartridge, or maybe a little cheaper now. That was the last time I checked. Or you can do this. I went to I think it's called the Ink Warehouse, and you can get, as you can see, these are well used. You can get these. Can't remember how much I paid for these. These are all the different inks, the ink refills. Maybe actually there's the ink refill, inkrefillsink.com. I'm not advertising for them. I'm just showing where I picked these up at. So, and it has all the colors for each and every one of these cartridges. The photo black, everything. I can't remember if I paid. I think this is pigmented black for the big cartridge, the big black cartridge here, and then they have photo black for the smaller one. And I can't really remember how much I paid for each one of these. I think I got the bigger bottles, and they might even have bigger bottles than this. And I've been using these probably almost a solid year, and I still haven't run out. They might have been $20, $25, or $50 a piece for each one of these big, huge bottles. So let me just I've already actually refilled these. I want to show you how I'm refilling them and then what I'm going to do afterwards, because there's no level on these ink cartridges to know when it's full other than when it's overflowing. So what I basically have done is, you'll see I've got a lot of, you can use paper towels. I've got gloves on my hands to keep the ink. I have this needle for injecting the ink, and I will show you where I'm injecting it at, because you'll probably recognize these cartridges if you have them from an HP PhotoSmart printer. There's a label over the top that covers this little hole here. So what I'm basically doing is I took all of those labels off here so that all you can see is the top exposed, and you'll probably recognize these. I fill them up. I don't really clean them too much. I clean them off before I put them in, but they're pretty much, you can tell these have definitely been used. And they've been used, let's see, I've refilled these, oh man, I want to say I've probably refilled these at least 7 to 10 times. I have other cartridges, of course. When you buy them, they're pretty expensive. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do. These are already reloaded. I actually reload these until ink comes out of the bottom, and then I use a paper towel and use a sop right here on this. I'm going to try to set the camera down behind me so that you can see, or maybe set it on the oven so that you can see what I'm doing. First I'll describe it. I'll start with this one so that you can see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this red out here. I'm going to use this hypodermic needle, and I'm going to fill the hypodermic needle all the way up, and there's this little hole at the top here that actually goes right down into the sponge of the filter, and you'll see it'll inject right in. You don't have to push it down far. And then I'll inject the ink into the cartridge, and I'll probably, basically I have to fill it up twice before it starts coming out the bottom. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to set this camera down, flip it around so that you can see me do that one. and then I'll describe the steps to you of what I do after that. So let me see if I can see. Hopefully this will. I'm going to set this down here and maybe set it up in a way that you're able to see what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to fill it up all the way up. Move this out the way. So I'm taking the cartridge, ejecting it. I'm going to do it again. And I suppose the reason why you want to be careful with this is because you don't want all the ink leaking out into your computer, your printer. And my father has told me, you'll see it's coming dripping out of the bottom. If you'll notice, I have this little reservoir, this plastic reservoir plate. I'll squeeze the rest in here. I'll have this little plastic reservoir plate underneath it so that it catches the ink as it drops, because it's going to spatter, and you don't want to splatter ink all over your furniture, your shirt, your hands, because it's very, very hard to come off. If it does, I just recommend if you do get the ink on your hands or something, it happens on occasion, just use like orange or some type of industrial cleaner, and it should come off. So maybe use lotion on your hands so that afterwards, after you clean it off real good. So you'll see I filled it up, and now I'm using just this paper towel to sop the bottom to make sure, and then I leave it, after sopping the bottom, I'll leave it sitting in this reservoir with the paper towel, so that if any drips out, and I'll just leave it sitting there for a couple minutes as I fill each and every one of them up. And then I'm going to see, after it sets, you'll notice that none of the ink will come out onto this. And so, because you're going to have ink all over your gloves and your hands, you want to dispose of this stuff in a proper manner. I'll just seal it in a plastic bag or something. So let me see. So I want to make sure that you know this, because you're going to use the same hypodermic needle. You're going to take this needle, and I take it in to use hot water. I'm going to pause you, and then I'll come back out. Maybe I'm going to take this head off this needle like this and unscrew it. Well, I think I'm going to anyway. Well, there we go. So I'll take this apart like this, and you'll see the ink. You want to wash it out with warm water. If not, you'll mix your inks around, and you don't really want to do that, because when it comes out of the printer, it will be messed up. So let me just put you on pause for a second and go do that. Okay, here we are again. So now we're back to where we started pretty much. We have the hypodermic needle is all clean. And you see, you don't have to wash it out with soap. Just use hot water or warm water and take that tip off, and just take out the ink. So you'll see it drip down in the pan. It does have a little excess, but if you notice, it is not dripping out anymore. These I'd already filled. So, and these have been sitting for a minute, and you can see that there's no ink, so you don't have to worry about it messing up your printer. Of course, you have to do it right so that you don't have that happen, but I've like I said, I've filled them a couple times now, and I haven't had a problem. So what I'll probably do is just, I don't know if you need another one, and I'm probably just going to clean these off too before I put them back in. And maybe I can go back up to the printer and show you how I install them. I don't think it's necessary. I'm pretty sure that you could do this with just about any ink cartridge. I've just started doing these because they're so expensive. You know, it seems like they have really, especially if you get an expensive printer, and then the cartridges are expensive on top of it. I'm not much for that. I'm sure a lot of other people are, and it saves me a lot of money by doing this with these ink cartridges. So let me finish the yellow and finish the rest of these two up, and then I'm going to pause you, and then we'll come back and we'll just look at what I'm going to do in the printer itself to put them in. Okay, here we are again, and I am about to install. I'll just push these down, these cartridges that I filled up. I'm going to do a system, well, for the HP PhotoSmart Premium, you actually have to do it. My computer, for whatever, or my printer for whatever reason, is never, I'm going to scoot this over. I've actually had to unplug the computer to get the ink cartridge thing to slide out where I needed it. So what I do is I push copy, then just unplug the computer or unplug the printer when the cartridge slides over enough. Of course, it gets very irate with me about that whole thing, but that's the only way I've found for it to, it doesn't slide out like a normal. So it's booting up now. It doesn't slide out like a normal cartridge release like other models do. So I've had problems with that. Let me just, so then I do this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a systems check where I basically clean the printer head, and it's going to print all the colors out for me. I'm thinking maybe I can just put this on pause and I'll show you what happened yesterday when I was printing one of my labels so that you know. Okay, so this is the this is what I was printing yesterday when this happened. I balled it up, so I had to go back and get it. Well, you see that the graphic goes halfway out, so I have to reprint the postage for it. I actually kind of knew the ink was getting a little low because there's telltale signs when you're printing stuff. So that's what it was, and that's the reason why I refilled the ink cartridges. So let me take this. So I'm going to shut this back down, and I'm going to go into the system settings. See if I can zoom in on this, whether it's going to pick it up or not. Setup. And let me see. I'm trying to remember where it's at. I think check tools. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go into clean print head. And I'm trying to zoom in and get this to show up right. So it's going to do that. I guess I could just put you on pause again until it's done and then come back, because it takes a minute. Actually takes a couple minutes to do this, so that's what I'll do. Okay, so let me just show you. This is what came out. And so you can see, I don't know if you can see all the ink levels. I'm not sure if I've got this on the right setting, and then it has, of course, it prints out with this, shows the letters and everything. I have to clean the print head, so now I'm ready to print. And so that's what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna start my business again today and start printing labels, shipping labels to get stuff shipped out. And I appreciate your time. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, maybe you could just drop me a line about whatever it might be. And thank you.